On the Russia investigation, are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
Over the course
of just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people.
Do you hear it? Do you hear the screams? Do you hear the terror? Do you hear the outright panic that is coming out of the rapidly empty halls of the Cemetery News Network? Those earth-shattering screams that you heard about 11 o'clock this morning, those screams were coming from the woke welfare collectors at CNN as their beloved James Acosta quit live on the air. Oh no! What are we going to do? James was our savior. He was surgical with that shovel, removing water from the Titanic. Now that he's jumped overboard, we're all going to sink. Oh! Last night, I finished reading a book about Jorge Salcedo. If you've ever seen season 3 of Narcos on Netflix, you're familiar with Salcedo. He was the head of security for Miguel Rodriguez, the godfather of the Cali cartel. The gentlemen of Cali, as they like to refer to themselves as, they operated a bit differently than Pablo Escobar. Pablo, he wasn't a big supporter of defunding the police. He wanted to eliminate them altogether. The Cali cartel, they saw things differently. Instead of whacking cops, instead of paying sicarios to randomly shoot them, the gentlemen of Cali, they thought it was better to buy their loyalty. They spent billions and billions of dollars every year paying off crooked cops and crooked politicians. Some cops and politicians were on their payroll for years. The book I just finished reading about Jorge Salcedo, it was released back in 2011, maybe 2012. One of the best books I have ever read. I highly recommend it. And if James Acosta were smart, he would have read the book too. Matter of fact, I might send James my copy so he can prevent making the same mistake that he made with CNN. You see, James thought time was enough to buy loyalty. Just like the Cali cartel, James thought loyalty was something that you could purchase. Abilio Acosta started collecting woke welfare at CNN in April of 2007. 18 years of service. 18 years of propaganda, 18 years of polishing the turd, trying to convince people to watch this dump of a network. And after 18 years, James learned the same lesson that the Cali cartel spent billions of dollars learning. The cartel learned that there is no loyalty in the drug business. I don't care how much money you paid someone. When they are looking at 25 to life, there's no amount of money that can buy that kind of loyalty. Unfortunately for James, he learned the lesson the hard way. When you think about it, all he had to do was listen to Uncle KC. I have been saying this for years now here on the channel. There is no loyalty in the woke movement. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Quick reminder, I'm going to be out of town tomorrow and Thursday. There's going to be no video tomorrow. We'll see about Thursday. It just depends on what time I get home and if I feel like doing anything. So when you don't see me tomorrow, that's why. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video. This is more advice from Uncle KC that James should follow. I am sure the CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading would be beneficial in soothing his bruised caboose, since CNN just gave him a swift kick in the ass as they fired him. Let's get to the sponsor, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches and pains throughout your day and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you? Or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take? Me personally, I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain, which is why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. No, This is not THC. It's not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. My wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. We've tried over-the-counter stuff. We have tried the chiropractor. Nothing ever seems to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. My wife keeps a bottle in her purse at all times. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soaps that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. CBD bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender to cherry almond. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Last night, I received dozens of emails notifying me that Abilio James Acosta was quitting CNN. Obviously, this wasn't some shocking revelation since I told you guys that James was getting fired last week. But KC, Jim Acosta didn't get fired, he quit! Yeah, that's what they always say. For some reason, they think it's better for public perception to allow someone the dignity of quitting, but Abilio, he did not quit. He got fired. You don't move an 18-year veteran in the mainstream media from a prime spot in daytime television to the graveyard shift without that being a clear signal that they are no longer welcome at the network. That would be like WNBA players showing up to the dump and Kat Engelbert, she is no longer supplying the mops. Kat, we can't find the mops. What are we supposed to do? You're supposed to leave. You're no longer wanted. It would be like the cheating husband coming home from work and his house key is no longer working. That is a pretty clear signal that your house is no longer your home. It is the same thing here with Jim Acosta. Last week, CNN announced that they were laying off 6% of their workforce. They also announced that they were making exciting changes in their daily lineup. They moved unknowns like Wolf Blitzer. Woof, woof, woof. They moved unknowns like Wolf from afternoons to morning television. They moved other unknowns from morning TV to afternoons, where people in airport lounges will be asking the same question they were asking in the morning. Who in the hell is that? Even though he initially thought that he was not part of the layoffs, didn't take James very long to realize he had been fired. CNN moved him from 10 in the morning to 2 in the morning. Instead of not entertaining dozens of people in the morning, James would be responsible for waking up drunks who passed out on the couch and telling them to get their ass to bed. Last night, it was reported that James would not tolerate this disrespect any longer, and he would be leaving CNN immediately. But then, I received an email this morning letting me know that Jim Acosta, he was live on the air. How in the hell did you quit, but you're still working? As it turns out, CNN was giving James one last chance to say goodbye to his audience. You could hear family members crying because they would no longer have a way to see him. You could hear the machines at the milk factory gearing up as they prepared to put his face on the side of a milk carton. Watch for yourself as Jim Acosta says goodbye to the dozens of people who realize he exists. Roll the film.
Never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
I don't know about about you guys, but I'm excited about these big plans. Ooh, I can't wait. Please tell me, Jimmy, what are these future plans? Are you going to start a podcast? Are you going to launch a channel here on YouTube? Uncle KC has a job for you. You can be the host next year for the 3rd annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. A lot of people in the media are claiming that this is proof that CNN is surrendering to the Trumper. Over the years, Donnie and Jimmy, they've shared a lot of tension. Donnie is allergic to liars and Jim Acosta is allergic to the truth. Do I think Donald Trump called up Mark Thompson and demanded that Jim Acosta be fired? Absolutely not. Do I think Donald Trump has even thought about Jim Acosta? Absolutely not. Why would the Trumper be concerned about a network that no one is watching? Why would he be concerned about a network that has no credibility? I know I keep repeating myself because I keep seeing the same narrative throughout the mainstream media. The media's pissed off because one of their beloved deacons has lost his woke welfare. As you guys know, woke welfare collectors, they stick together. But firing Jim Acosta, that is not a sign that CNN is surrendering to Donald Trump. It's a sign that CNN is surrendering to Trump supporters. It's a sign that CNN is surrendering to normal people. I'll give Mark Thompson credit because the message is clear. You're either going to shape up or ship out. You're either going to be unbiased with your coverage of the Trumper or you're going to be unemployed. It's really that simple. Now, whether or not this strategy works for CNN, that remains to be seen. But they had to do something. The audience has gotten so small at CNN, Nielsen can barely measure their ratings. When Mark Thompson gets the report in the morning, Nielsen's only able to give him estimates. We think around 200 people tuned in to watch Wolf howl at the morning sun, but we could be off by about 200 people. Mark Thompson had to make drastic changes. Problem is, he didn't go far enough. This is the same thing that Chris Lick did 2 or 3 years ago. He made news by firing the donut diva Brian Stelter, fired a couple of other old white dudes that no one cared about, and the only thing that happened was ratings went from bad to worse. This is one of those cases where the strategy is right, but the implementation is wrong. CNN needs to shift directions. That's obvious. They need to differentiate themselves from MSNBC by telling the truth. They need to provide unbiased, fair coverage of the Trumper. Caitlin Collins, Katie Woo! Katie Woo! The Roo did an interview last night with Tom Holman where she asked tough questions, but it was fair. Problem is, Caitlin Collins was the one asking the questions. When I watched the video, I was subconsciously looking for the bias. You cannot change the culture with the people responsible for making the culture toxic. It's damn near impossible. But maybe Mark Thompson can pull it off. Maybe he can convince viewers to trust the people who have spent the last few years lying to them. You tell me, is it possible? Also, give me your thoughts on Jim Acosta quitting CNN. What do you think his big plans are? MSNBC, maybe network news, independent media? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys in a couple of days.